Listen to this. Seasoned, boneless pork dipped in a tangy barbecue sauce, topped with slithered onions, tangy pickles, all served on a toasted home-style bun. With its inimitably, what does that even mean? Hearty sauce and delicious pork, it'll really blow you away. You just have to bite into it firmly. This is McDonald's own words for its infamous McRib sandwich, which comes on menus in and out all around the world, but not here in Australia. And since we don't get them here in Australia very often, I'm gonna make one and see if it's actually worth all the hype. But after reading this, I'm not so sure it's gonna live up to the hype. Let's get stuck in. Well, I'm actually gonna make 3 versions of this sandwich. First of all, I'm gonna try and replicate the Macca's one as close as I can. So I've got the pickles, the onions, the buns. I've even got Macca's barbecue sauce. Now it's not quite the same one as the McRib sauce, I don't think, but it's close enough. First of all, we need to make the weird patty. Pork mince, to that, some breadcrumbs, seasoning mix, an egg, and some milk. Mix it all up. Now, I don't know about you, but it feels a little misleading called the McRib when it's made out of pork mince, but I guess I'm not a multinational restaurant chain. Now we need to form it into the shape of a rib. So we need to form this into a weird oblong shape with pretend ribs.
Do you think that's how they do it at Macca's?
Oh, little Johnny. After school was just using his fingers. I don't think so. Maybe. All right, let's cook this monstrosity. Now, in Macca's, they heat up the sauce, so we will also heat up the sauce. How much does 10 things of Macca's sauce cost?
$7.50.
We have our toasted bun, our rib, which we need to generously douse in sauce. There's a lot of sauce in McRib, I'm pretty sure. This barbecue sauce is...
Elite.
It's not... The viscosity is just like...
Perfect.
No. I think we're gonna load it up. Pickles, onions. Now there's no way that Macca's ones look this good. Oh, it's saucy. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've ordered, eaten, or thrown out a McRib, because this is pretty sweet. The meat patty is actually gonna cook nicely, but it's not a rib. We can definitely do better than this. Back to the drawing board. So the first one we're gonna do, I'm gonna call the Andy Cook's McOven rib, because we can fix this with something as simple as a domestic oven. So I've got the same pickles, onions. I've got different bread this time. We're gonna go with a ciabatta. I think it's gonna eat a bit better. We've got our ribs, obviously, and then we're gonna make our sauce. First of all, for the dry rub, we've got salt, brown sugar, mustard powder, garlic powder, fennel powder, paprika. We're gonna mix that well and set it aside. Then we're gonna take a rack of our ribs. This is a baby back wrap of ribs. And we're gonna remove the silver skin from the underneath, or the membrane. Very important to do that. A little bit of yellow mustard, spread all over the ribs for a binder. Then we're gonna generously sprinkle on our dry rub from earlier, making sure we pat it on and we don't rub it or it will just fall off. Into 2 or 3 layers of foil with a little sprinkling of apple cider vinegar. We're gonna wrap them up really tight so no air can get out, into an oven, 150 degrees for 3 hours. Now for the barbecue sauce. Starts with ketchup, pinch of salt, brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, smoked paprika, and garlic powder. Bring it up to temperature, just till it's well incorporated and everything is nicely mixed together. Also gonna add in some Worcestershire sauce, about 10 dashes, because that's all I've got left. And my secret ingredient, Maggi seasoning. Also about 10 dashes. Ribs have been cooking for 3 hours now. Let's pull them up now. Place a piece of paper on your tray, or it's gonna make a big mess. Remove the foil. And we wanna flip it over carefully and remove all the bones. Just like that. So we got our barbecue sauce. We want to glaze these before we flip them over. So this is the underside. Go relatively generous. This is why the paper comes in handy. You're going to fold it over like you're making a sandwich, and then we're going to really quickly flip it. Dunk. Glaze this side. Oven's up on 190 degrees. Back they go. So while that's in the oven, we're going to toast our bun. The pan back on medium heat. Cut our Turkish bun open. Give it a toast. I've got a good feeling about this one. We're just looking for a light toast here. We don't want an aggressive toast. Some people will criticize me for not buttering that, but I stand by it. There's gonna be enough sauce on this rib. All right, it's looking good. Don't think we're gonna fit them all on the roll, but we'll fit most of them. Bun, she's delicate. Pickles, onions. There you go, the Andy Cook's McOven rib. Definitely takes longer than the other one, but I'm gonna say the result's gonna speak for itself. So I think overall it's actually easier to make. So much better. The actual texture of the meat, you actually get meat there. The sauce, not overly sweet, nice and balanced flavor. And I think on the Turkish bread, it's a better bread for eating this. We've got one more idea, see if we can take it up even one more notch. And for my last act, we're doing the Smokin' McAndy. A bit more technical and it's gonna require some special equipment. Just like the last one, we're gonna use Turkish bread because I think it performed really well. And then the same onions and pickles, the same barbecue sauce as we just made, but we're gonna smoke it and the ribs. First up, just like before, remove the membrane. Then you're gonna put on some yellow mustard as a binder and the same rub as before. Then they're gonna go into a preheated smoker at around 110 to 120 degrees Celsius. We're gonna smoke them for 3 hours. After 3 hours, we're gonna pull them out of the smoker, line them in some foil, a couple of pieces of butter on top, and wrap them up really tightly, back in the smoker for another 2 hours. Along with your barbecue sauce, ideally in a large fry pan. Why? Because you want a lot of surface area for that smoke to hit that sauce. 2 more hours, then you're gonna remove both the sauce and the ribs. Take the ribs out of the foil, remove the bones, and glaze them with some of that smoked sauce. Crank your smoker up to about 150 degrees Celsius and place the ribs covered in glaze back in there for another 15 minutes just to set that sauce. Same as before, lightly toasted bun, our heavily sauced ribs. That's a generous serving. Pickles, onion. And there we have it. The Smokin' McAndy. Only one thing left to do. See what one tastes best. Whoa. It's rich, sweet, smoky, great meaty texture. That's a delicious sandwich. The moral of the story is the last two were 1,000 times better than the first one. The oven ones were delicious, far less fuss and less time consuming in general. Definitely a valid contender, but that one, that takes it up a notch. Absolutely delicious. Thank you, legends, so much for watching. Like this video if it's anything from it, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you next week, another video. Peace.